Welcome into the show. We have Luis Miguel Echigara, Janusz Michalik, and myself, Kay Murray. We've got lots of guests coming in today as well. We've got Arsenal superfan Dallin Cuff joining us. He's going to tell us about some of the bets that are going on when it comes to the Premier League title. Tom Hamilton was at Stamford Bridge today. He's going to join us later to talk about Chelsea. But the big news of the day is that Arsenal won the North London derby 2-0. It finished. Couldn't believe this. It was the first Premier League away win against Spurs since 2014. LME, they are trusting the you-know-what out of the process.
That's right. That's right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. A fantastic performance from Arsenal. I thought it was a complete performance from Arsenal. In the first half, they were so great aggressively from an attacking perspective, taking advantage, of course, of the mistakes by Tottenham. And there were a lot of mistakes by Tottenham. And then in the second half, they were solid. They were resilient. Aaron Ramsdale was great, defensively. And, this is how you win. And most importantly, Kay Murray, this is how you become a champion, by doing a complete match. Fantastic from Arsenal and Tottenham. Well, I mean, we could be here all day talking about all the things that they need.
Well, we will. Let's go through the match then, Janusz, because you know what question's coming to you at the end of us talking through this match. But let's talk about the first goal. Saka went for it, and it almost looked like Lloris just clapped it, and it went into the back of the net.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, let's give it to Arsenal. I mean, the number of mistakes. One happened before the game even started, I think, with Sessegnon, because I can understand why he was in the starting 11, perhaps for the pace of Saka. He couldn't cope with that. I think Perisic, with his experience, would have been still my choice. I think, obviously, not as quick. But anyway, you look at the first goal, and you look at Thomas Partey with that ball. I mean, Sessegnon gets beat twice on the ball from Partey, because he was in the wrong position, and then he cut up with Saka, and by the byline still didn't do his job. But let's face it, Lloris, it's his mistake. Luis, you'll remember not long ago, I think against Villa, when Arsenal beat him 2-0, I think it was Douglas Luiz with a shot from about 35 yards. He spilled it, and I think Buendia puts that away. So obviously, as of late, Lloris hasn't been at his best. I thought he was pretty good in the World Cup, but since he came back, there you have it. A number of mistakes. But give all the credit to Arsenal, because look, the bottom line is Arsenal play the best football in the Premier League, full stop. And it's beautiful. Maybe best football in Europe, to be quite honest, because if you truly watch what they do in many games, is they are so positive. They don't waste any touches. You look at the body language, every touch is going forward. Everything is to efficiently get themselves in a dangerous positions, in dangerous spots. And they've been doing that all season, and that is why they are where they are. You want me to tell you now, Kay, where they're going to end up?
No. So listen, let's just add some context to this. All season long, Janusz has kind of been sitting on the fence. Even when he's saying he isn't, he's sitting on the fence going, yeah, they're contenders. I mean, Man City is still favourites. No, they're both contenders. Janusz, are they favourites now? They're 8 points at the top of the table.
It's there to lose. However, yes, I've been saying I want to see them play against Manchester City. Here's the problem that they have. Next Sunday, there's a game of games, right? Because it's not just Manchester City. Right now, Manchester United are asking for it, and so are Newcastle, by the way. So now Arsenal has to contend with not just Manchester City, but with two other teams, right? So it's not going to be that easy, because I think in a way it's a lot easier with one. But now you have two teams that are also asking. So look, next Sunday, Arsenal against Manchester United. Game of games, but it's Arsenal's to lose.
Well, look, I just want to very quickly, Kay, I want people to keep the receipts, because take a dito, go back on ESPN FC YouTube, and I did a full-on thing in October, Kay Murray, right, to emphasize this. Arsenal, I'm not going to be as in the gray area, okay? Arsenal are winning this league. They're winning it. They're winning it. You said it yourself, Janusz. It's a perfect performance, and I agree with you, Janusz. Janusz, listen, there is no team in Europe that's playing as well as Arsenal, and it's been going on for a while. And yes, there's been a few hiccups here and there, but this is a complete united Arsenal, and I believe it. On course on 100 points, and they're going to win the Premier League.
I'm going to give a little shout out to Napoli. We're just going to put them in there right now.
Very good show. Especially
don't worry, Arsenal. I'm not taking anything away from you. Let's not take anything away from Martin Odegaard's goal either, Janusz. What did you make of that?
I mean, it's Odegaard. I mean, he's been absolutely outstanding. I don't think most of us didn't happen. That's the beauty of Arsenal, that we didn't see any of that happen. Most of us, anyway, right? I mean, we didn't see Arteta, we didn't see Arsenal, we didn't see Odegaard, who had so many question marks. We didn't see Thomas Partey playing that role, although I think we knew how great he was. Remember that time where Mikel Arteta had to push him on the pitch because he didn't want to go on it? I can't remember what game that was, but I was kind of we laughed about it when just as he got there. But obviously had some injuries, maybe needed a little bit of time. And what a performance, not just today, but throughout the season. When he's healthy, virtually in that midfield, unplayable. Because here's the story of Arsenal Football Club. You look at a player like Thomas Partey, who pretty much takes care of the defensive part of that midfield all by himself, because the positioning of Zinchenko, Arteta's smart. He's been under Pep Guardiola. He knows that he needs to push a fullback inside just for cover, and that allows Xhaka and Odegaard in particular to play a little bit higher and have a free role, because that's what Odegaard is. Odegaard has a free role, and he's fully taken advantage of that. And he saw that with Kyle Walker and Kevin De Bruyne, right? He's been on that bench. He was making notes. He was paying attention, and it's paying dividends.
A very quick word, Kay, on Eddie Nketiah, because when Gabriel Jesus was injured in the World Cup, one of the biggest worries was who was going to lead that line, right? Obviously, they're more than just Gabriel Jesus, but he was given so much, specifically from a flexible, dynamic position up front. And then Nketiah, he is such a nuisance up front. He's very good at, sort of waiting 1 to 1.5 seconds to shoot. He's a big headache, and I think that he deserves a lot of credit. I think he's underrated, actually, as a player.
Okay. I mean, arguably, I'll tell you what, I think we all worried when Gabriel Jesus got injured, right? And Arsenal are proving that they can cope more than that. And that's where Nketiah has got to get his credit. However, you saw that late in the second half. I don't know if it was Xhaka that released him. I'm not so sure where you could have iced this game. We saw that against Newcastle, against a very good and well-organized defense, that he has some issues, right? He's not the sort of player that can stretch defenses or maybe get somebody out of position defensively like Gabriel Jesus. So although it's good, hasn't been a problem. I'm not trying to knock him or say that he's a bad player.
Well, I think you are a little bit, because my point was not to say that he's the answer to Arsenal's problems. Right. I'm saying that Arsenal needed somebody to supplement the absence of Gabriel Jesus.
He's done that.
And there was a lot of worries. There was a lot of worries of like, what are we going to do in the transfer window from an Arsenal perspective? And I think Nketiah has said, put me in, coach, and he's delivering. Yes, of course. He's not like, the complete answer to Arsenal's problems during the summer transfer window. They're going to look for other things. But I do, absolutely. But my point is that we need to give a lot of respect to a player who's stepping up for Mikel Arteta and becoming a nuisance up front. And even though you may not expect a hat trick or a brace every single time, he's definitely delivering and living up to his status as a backup player. And he's doing a lot more than just that.
Okay, Mark Ogdens at the stadium. He's been on his tour of the stadium this weekend at all of the games. He's been rocking out to UB40. What we got? A bit of red wine.
We got artsy monkeys now, okay? So it's just slowing the tempo down a little bit.
All right. So listen, Mark, before we get into the game with you, what's happened at the end of it? Aaron Ramsdale's had a great performance today. He's made 7 saves, but he's been kicked at the end by a fan.
Yeah, so right at the end of the game, Aaron Ramsdale goes to get his gloves out of the back of the goal and just, maybe, I don't know, he's got something, so he goes to the side of the goal, picks up a towel or something, and as he's doing that, a Tottenham fan from the Tottenham end, comes across and swings a leg at Ramsdale and catches him on the back, and then it kind of does, all hell breaks loose. We got a lot of players coming charging in. Stewart's got the fan pretty quickly, so he's been caught, but yeah, I mean, I think we'll hear a lot more about that, because, when these games get so kind of high tempo and this sort of thing happens, the temper's frayed, but a fan kicking a goalkeeper or any player is a bad story, bad luck. So I think that the FA will look into that, and I'm sure that Tottenham will face some pretty hefty punishment for that.
All right, yeah, we obviously hope to hear more on that. I hope it's okay. It's always terrible to hear anything like that. Mark, get into the game though. Obviously, you've been doing your tour of the stadiums, as mentioned. You're getting all the best games this weekend. What's your biggest observation from being there, watching this one, the North London derby?
Well, in the first half, I just looked at the stats on my mobile. It said that 51% Tottenham, 49% Arsenal. It just can't make sense, because Arsenal seem to dominate the game, and they're just much better, much quicker. Bukayo Saka was excellent. He was having the freedom of the pitch down the right hand side. Hugo Lloris, had an absolutely shocking game. And we talked about Ramsdale having a great game. Lloris was a real contrast. He was, mistake for the first goal. He almost made a mistake prior to that when he gave the ball to Eddie Nketiah. So, he's 36 years old now. He's just retired from the international team in France. You have to wonder whether his days are numbered at Tottenham, because that isn't his first mistake of the season. So, I just think Arsenal totally outclassed Tottenham, and for the first time this season, Arsenal are their favourites, the bookmakers, the favourites to win the Premier League. So, I might disagree, Yanis may disagree, LME may disagree, but the people who know where the money goes, the bookies, they're saying Arsenal the favourites.
Well, it's an unbelievable thing for me, the way that Mark Ogden wears that hat. I just wanted to add that part. He looks so smooth.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.